Good morning, church. Well, there's two things they say that you shouldn't discuss in public or with friends, and that is politics and religion. Well, I couldn't agree more on the first part because, it has become very contentious right now, and if you want to be very divisive, you're never going to change the mood or the idea of the person you're talking to. But religion, for me, is a different thing because, you see, I'm a pastor. And as a pastor, it seems to be expected that that's all that I want to talk about. Well, that's not all that I want to talk about. But to suffice people when you walk into a room and they hear you're a pastor, that becomes the subject. First, they get through this whole guilt thing of why they are not coming to church or why they haven't been to church. Or I did have one person come up to me one day and say, "Am I going to hell?" To which I answered, "Well, that's entirely up to you, but that's a story for another day." But I do discuss religion because to me, religion is love. You know, I made a point and a vow and a covenant, so to speak, on Facebook, on social media, quite a while ago that said I would only post those things that are uplifting. Now, I veered away from that from time to time, and I've been sorry that I've done that. But I've come back to it, and there's a reason because it makes me angry. And I don't like being angry. When I go onto Facebook, I don't want to get mad. I just want to see what my friends are doing and maybe look at some cute pictures of kids or cats or something. Or maybe this message. I don't really care what someone thinks of the president or what someone thinks of this person or what someone thinks of that person because they're not going to change my mind one bit. So I tend to skip over those, and indeed, I have unfriended. There's a word that's new. I have gone to total social distancing and completely unfriended myself from some of these folks many of which I've been friends with for quite a while, simply because I don't want to get angry. But what I do want to do is I want to love. I want to get onto social media and I want to be uplifted. I want these messages that I'm sharing with you today to be uplifting. I want to share stories with you like the gentleman in Montclair, New Jersey, the landlord, David Plassick, I believe is his last name. Now, David has decided to waive the rent for April, May, and June to his tenants because of what they're going for in this global pandemic. Now, he owns 12 rental units, and this is going to cost him in excess of $50,000. And when he was asked about it, he said, "Well, it's just good business to do that." And then he said, foregoing more than that $50,000 in rent from tenants was an easy decision to make. And I'll quote him now, "It was more a question of why not do this for our tenants. We asked them to pay it forward so if they can go out and buy takeout from the restaurants or gift cards from other small businesses or pay it forward with the local food bank we had here in Montclair, New Jersey called Tony's Kitchen." And then he went on to say it benefits all their stakeholders. He's a believer that if you do these things for people, this is the kind of message I want to lift up. I want to lift up messages of hope. I want to lift up messages of kindness. This division that we're seeing today, we must get away with. And at this point, Jesus Christ and his gospel and the epistles written after him are relevant as the great reconciler. To the church in Ephesus, Paul wrote, "Be full of love for others, following the example of Christ." This man's following the example of Christ. He is. And I read of hundreds of other messages just the same, or things that happen just the same. It's awesome. The wonderful things that are happening that so overshadow any of the dark comments that we read in social media or see on TV. The Apostle John, in his first epistle, declared, "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." This is how we know that we belong to the truth and how we set our hearts at rest in His presence. Let us do this in action and in truth. Pick up the phone, call somebody. That's action. Truth. Truth. Sometimes the truth is hard to hear, but most, my friends, there's nothing that can be more uplifting than the truth. There are times when the truth may bring, oh, I don't know, a bad diagnosis or a hard lesson. But there is but one truth. Now we find that truth in the love of Jesus Christ. In fact, Jesus said, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." And that's what He's called us to do. With this divisiveness, stop it. Stop it now. All you're doing is ticking people off. You're not getting anywhere. If you've got something to say it to somebody's face. If you want to have a discussion like that, have it like this. Don't write it somewhere and then go run and hide behind your keyboard or your monitor. Have courage. But most of all, love each other. Well, friends, God loves you, and so do I. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless you. Goodbye for now.